This is Mr. Kamau at policeabuse.com, and you're about to join a live telephone call with a recent police misconduct victim. But before hearing from the victim, I'm going to place a phone call to the Durham, North Carolina Police Department.
Durham Communications, you're on a recorded line.
Yes, ma'am. Can you tell me how to file an excessive force complaint against a Durham, North Carolina police officer? Mm-hmm.
It was against you?
No, it's a friend, and I'm assisting the friend.
Okay, I can have the watch commander give you a call. What was the location where it occurred?
Okay, just a moment. It happened at a restaurant, and let me just pull up the complaint form. Just a minute. Okay.
Remember, what's the name of the restaurant?
Just a moment.
Okay.
All right. The victim did not.
I'm actually going to have to place you on a. Okay, yeah, never mind. Go ahead. Actually, yes, I'm going to have to place you on a brief hold so I can answer 911 lines. I'll be right back with you. Okay?
Okay, no problem.
You have reached a non-emergency line of the Durham 911 Center. We are experiencing a high call volume, and your request will be answered as soon as possible. Please be aware that 911 lines are answered first, and if you have an emergency, please hang up and call 911. Your call will continue to ring into the center after this announcement.
Ha llamado a una línea administrativa del Centro 911 de Durham. Estamos...
Okay, we're not getting anywhere with the 911 call. And for anyone who's watching, around 7:30 or 7 o'clock in the evening, which is what it is now on the East Coast, police departments usually get a lot of calls around that time, so I'm not going to tie up their 911 line. This is a message for Chief Lopez. I just attempted to leave you a message previously on your voicemail, but I'm going to call you back tomorrow. You have an excessive force complaint on the front page of policeabuse.com, and this complaint is serious. Apparently, the victim was dragged across the pavement for no good reason and arrested and then released without charge. And I would like to get some answers and get an internal affairs investigation started. So, Chief, I'm going to let you hear an interview in a few moments. I'm going to be communicating with the victim, and you can hear her statement for yourself. Thrown to the ground and you had abrasions. The officers in some way injured you. Tell me what happened, and this was the Durham, North Carolina Police Department?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And walk me through what happened. Tell me how you were hurt.
Okay, I was at a restaurant with my sister. My sister got into an altercation with two of the employees. So we were asked to leave the premises. But when we left out of the restaurant, they didn't give us our pocketbooks or anything else. They left our food and our purses, everything on the table. So we sat out and waited for the police because my sister is the one that called the cops.
Mm-hmm.
When the cops got there, they gave us our belongings and told us that we need to leave the property. Me and my sister were walking off talking to each other. And next thing I know, I'm on the ground. Two police officers are standing over top of me, and they're telling my sister to get off the premises, that I'm under arrest. I'm not exactly sure which officers threw me on the ground. The way my sister explained it, it looked like I may have been unconscious because I looked like I was sleeping. I wasn't moving. After that, I remember one of the officers put me in the back of the car and speaking to me. He's the one that took me downtown. Once I got downtown, they put me in a holding cell. They wouldn't give me a phone call, so I was banging on the door asking them, can I get my phone call? I wanted to call my husband and let him know where I was. They laughed, no, you're not getting no phone call. You're going to be in here all night. They wouldn't tell me why they arrested me in the first place. Then, after me beating on the door for a few minutes, two of the DOs entered the cell with me, went to grab me, and when they couldn't grab me, one of them hit me in my face, on the opposite side of the face. So it left my entire face was swollen.
He punched you in the face?
One side, they punched me in my eye. One side of my face, it looks like I was drugged down the road. It looks like road rash. The other side is just my entire eye was swollen completely shut and extremely bruised.
Did they hold on? Did they ever charge you with anything?
No.
You mean you were released without any charges?
Yes. My husband said he sat down there for 3 hours, and they kept telling him I wasn't there. And he was like, I know she's here because her sister was there when she got arrested. They brought her down here. And they're like, no, she's not here, she's not here. And he said, finally, one of the people asked him, what was my race? And he said that I was white. And they was like, oh, wait a minute, I think we do have her. But they had my ID. They had my belongings. They knew who I was. I'm not sure why they weren't letting me out into the custody of my husband, but he said all they made him do was sign some paperwork, and then they released me.
So let me back up.
But we didn't receive any paperwork.
Okay, so let me back up. You were in a restaurant with your sister having dinner. You were asked to leave, and you were waiting outside, and while you were waiting, you weren't doing anything. You were just waiting, correct?
We were waiting for the officers because my sister had called the officers because the two employees at the restaurant, what she told me was they jumped on her.
Okay.
So that's why we were asked to leave, because she was fighting the employees.
Okay. So there was some dispute with the employees. You guys were waiting outside, and once you were outside, there was no disturbance, no fighting, no nothing.
No, it was just me and my sister was the only ones that they allowed out of the restaurant.
Okay. And so at some point, your sister calls the police because you don't have your pocketbooks or your personal belongings. Is that right?
Well, she called the police on the two employees because they had jumped on her.
Oh, so she was reporting. Hold on.
The reason why we never left the restaurant, the parking lot of the restaurant, is because we didn't have our belongings.
Okay, so let me back up. You were reporting an assault, or your sister was reporting an assault by the employees. Did she say that over the phone when she called?
I'm not sure what she said, because as she was calling them, they were putting her out. I was still at the table with her stuff, because the other two employees were holding me from going over where my sister was.
Okay, so long story short, the police, you guys are the ones that call the police, and when they arrive, they don't interview you, but one of them comes up behind you and knocks you down?
Either knocked me down or threw me onto the ground.
Okay. That's pretty serious, and it's not only an excessive force complaint, but there may be other issues here. The real issue is that they didn't arrest you? I mean, they didn't charge you with anything?
No charges. I can't find myself on, like when I got home, I looked up to see, did I have a court date? Because my husband was like, they didn't give me anything. They didn't give me any paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't tell me why you were arrested.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll be, maybe it's one of those things where they'll send you something in the mail or something, because I've heard they can do that. Like they can charge you and just send your information in the mail or whatnot. But I'm not in there as I've ever been arrested in there. No mugshots of me. Like, I've looked everywhere that I know of.
So hold on. They didn't take any mugshots of you. Is that right?
No.
And you had a severe injury. Is that right?
Yes.
That's a problem. All right.
When I left the Durham Police Department, I went to...
I'm sorry. So repeat that. You said when you left the Durham Police Department, you went to the hospital?
I did.
And what were your injuries?
They made sure that I didn't have any broken facial bones or fractures, but other than that, they basically told me that I needed to keep my face extremely clean on the left side and only use like a mild soap and a lot of Neosporin to keep from scarring. And then on the other side, just to do ice packs and to take pain medication.